how important it is for you to be able to sell your ideas, your concepts, and who you are. Because that's what people buy. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of the Believers in Business podcast. I am your host, Mr. Brian Adamson, and today I got a very interesting topic that I want to go over, one that I think is on everybody's mind. I want to offer up a perspective shift about what's going on with the presidential election. Now, just to preface this, I'm not interested in giving you my vote. I don't think that's important. What I want to highlight is something that I believe that is fundamentally hurting most businesses. And I'm seeing this thing play out in real time with Kamala Harris. Anybody know what that thing is? Okay. So today, depending on when this airs, today I watched Kamala's interview on Club Shay Shay. And I haven't watched a whole lot of what she's done, but I can tell you that I also watched Trump's interview on Joe Rogan podcast. And here's the thing, forget policy, forget positioning, forget all of that for just a second. The stark difference that I saw between both interviews was one guy was being unapologetically, authentically himself and did a phenomenal job at stepping into the questions, stepping into the issues, maneuvering the conversation in a fashion to where he could address said topics and issues. And he did an amazing job at selling both his ideas and himself. On the flip side of that, I saw Kamala do a horrendous job at selling both her ideas and herself. Why is this relevant to you? It's relevant not because of the election. It's relevant because I don't know Kamala. I haven't watched a lot of her. What I have heard has been the same, and I don't want to say rhetoric to sound dismissive or disrespectful, but it's been the same conversation, right? The few places that I have seen her. A lot of canned responses as opposed to candid responses, and it's pretty clear the narrative. But what's not clear is who she is, to me. And I think that's important today. We want to know who and what we're dealing with. But that aside, right? Because again, I don't want to get into the politics. The thing that I want to point out here is how important it is for you to be able to sell your ideas, your concepts, and who you are. Because that's what people buy. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. Now, what's interesting about this is Kamala could be the most brilliant person on the planet, unbeknownst to me. To get to where she's gotten to in life, one would know and assume that she's got to be clearly gifted. She's got to be clearly talented. She's got to be highly intellectual just for the other positions that she held, not including vice president of the free nation. But at the very same time, though, you got two people competing for space and votes, and her inability to win the crowd will directly impact her ability to win the election. Because sales is a transference of belief. Hey, real quick, are you operating at a level 10 in your life? Do you want to? I'm talking about a level 10 in your finances, a level 10 in your health and wellness, a level 10 in your marriage and your family life. Like excelling in every single area that's important for you personally and as a business owner. Because if you anything like me, you probably figured out, unless you have every single important area of your life firing on all cylinders, you still don't have success. Like I've been rich and miserable. I've had seasons where my health was compromised, which made the money not so important all of a sudden. I had seasons where my marriage was challenged. The money ain't so important all of a sudden. But here's what I figured out though. There is a world that exists that you can have your faith, your fitness, your finance, your freedom, and your family life firing on all cylinders. And if you don't want to be like the status quo and live a life at a level 3 and be mediocre, then I got just a place for you. It's called Believers in Business. It's a phenomenal community with like-minded individuals who all seek a level 10 life. And in there, you're going to get the tools, the resources to be able to excel in every one of those aspects of your life and in your business, as well as get business coaching to help you to continue to persist and grow your business so that you can have not only the financial success as a 6- and 7-figure entrepreneur, but that you can have holistic success. If that's you, click the link. I promise I'm out your way. Get back to the episode. And when you hear her speak, the way in which she presents herself, you don't sense that she believe enough to pass that belief off to anybody else. And that's a problem. That's a problem for everybody listening to this pod, everybody watching this video. The problem is that you could be the greatest in your industry. You could be the best at what you do. But if you don't know how to articulate that thing in such a way to get people to know, like, and trust you and to see your vision as you sell your vision, then you're going to have a very difficult time at getting people to buy whatever it is that what you're selling. And so a lot of the time today in society, people don't win because of ability. They win because of visibility. And it's one thing to get the attention. It's another thing as to what do you do when you get it? Are you able to articulate your vision clearly? Everybody think that business is won on business plans and spreadsheets and graphs, and it's just not true. It's won when you can paint a very clear picture to people as to what do they get as their payoff and result of you selling them your product or service. And if you can say that and say that well, and as Trump called it on Joe Rogan, if you can do the weave and put these stories into the conversation to further articulate and accentuate the point that you make, if you can take people on this journey with you as you communicate, people buy things for one reason and one reason only. Y'all know what that is? Do y'all know the one reason why people buy? It's because they feel like it. So your job, her job, his job, everybody's job that's selling something is to make people feel like it. The more you do that, the more they buy. The less you make them feel like it, the less they buy. And the thing that I see that's hurting Kamala more than anything else, I don't know, I'm not very clear on all her policies, just the ones that I hear over and over. The thing that I see hurting her worse than anything else in this election. And by the way, by the time this come out, the election would have dropped. I'm probably dead wrong. Probably not, be my guess. But if I am, y'all could crucify me later. But I think the thing that's gonna lose her this election is just her inability to be believable, to come from an authentic place, to make people buy what she's selling. You know what's interesting? I don't know that most people even believe in policies. They just believe in people. And I know that our vote shouldn't be tied to identity, and I get that. In business, that's just what it is. People are really investing in you when they're investing with you. Yes, you got to have a solid product and service. All those things are important, but they're really voting with their pocketbook based off of what they think about you as an individual. And let this be an example for every business owner out there listening to this. Not only do you need to have something good to say, you need to get really good at saying it when you do. And if you do that, you'll make more money than you ever could think. And again, your superpower is showing up authentically you. The reason why there's memes and skits about Trump is because he's being exactly who he is, which is unique. You can't make a skit funny about somebody that's not unique. Shannon Sharp, another unique individual, right? So when you make skits about unique people, it's only funny because they're so awkwardly unique. But somebody who's a puppet, who's a carbon copy, who is just saying all the right things at the right times for the right reasons, nobody identify with that. So there's no need to do a satire on that other than pointing out the obvious that I just aforementioned. So again, I don't know when this is going to air. Maybe the election has happened already. Maybe it hasn't. But it really ain't about the election. Whoever you vote for is your choice. It's your decision. Be proud of that. Stand in it. But the thing that I want to make you most aware of is it ain't just about your ability, it's about your visibility. And it's about what are you going to do with the attention of those once you have it. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, when they really don't understand sales, they get caught up on trying to sell people on their product and their pieces. How many videos there are in the portal, and how many Slack channels that you got, and how many Trello boards that you're going to have access to, and yada, yada, yada. Right? Well, let me ask you something. If I could get you a transformation or a desired payoff, would you watch in one video or 100 videos? Which one would you choose? If I could show you how to make $1 million from one video or $1 million from 10 videos, which one would you prefer to watch? The one video. But as business owners, a lot of the time we think that more is better, but it's not about how much it is. It's about how fast can you get the transformation. Because that's what people want. That's why social media, that's why Netflix, that's why all these, Uber, that's why all these on-demand things, we're looking for simplification. We're looking for simplification to get to success sooner. So we got to get very clear about how do we paint the picture to our potential clients of the transformation or payoff that they get from our product or service in a very clear way to where they understand when I make this investment, I'm going to get this desired outcome in this desired time frame, rather than bogging them down with how many videos and how much access and they got my personal number. That's not what people really want. And when you get them focused on that, you're actually, in a lot of cases, you're aborting the sale by doing that because you're overwhelming them with your processes and pieces instead of exciting them with the idea of your payoff. And so I don't know who that was for. That wasn't even on the docket today, but that's a good one. I promise you this, if you just listen to that last piece I just said and you start to change your sales process up and your sales cycle up and you get people more focused on that than the other, you're going to make some more money. Ask me how I know. I teach people how to do this all day long and twice on Sunday.